Brayden Hayes and David Flores for that profile.
Hi.
Hey everyone. Basically, Brayden, he top 8 at the tournament at the Dallas Regional. We took a unique approach to a Yummy deck, only because we found out that another engine can bridge into the Yummy version, and Yummy can bridge into the new engine that we're playing, which are TCG exclusives. So first, we're gonna go with the 2 Lolipo, 2 Cookie, and 3 Cupsy. We played 3 Cupsy because it was the best Yummy monster. We played 2 of these because they were technically the worst ones. Although they might go to 3 just because if whenever you have a Link 1, obviously you can just special summon them for free, and they might be better than the other engine that we're playing, but we're not too sure yet about that. Next, we played 2 Yummy Surprise, 1 Croaky, and a Minion. We didn't feel anything was wrong with this. Don't know if you need the second one, but yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Brayden to see his experience.
Yeah, so I feel like all these were really mandatory, and I know a couple people in the Mimigal Discord were asking me about a Croaky, and I think a Croaky is really mandatory because not only do I think you need a second field spell to cycle for your grind game, but also popping a card is really important when you're forced to end on the Yummy half board, because if you don't play this, you're only ending on like 3 interruptions, which is just not going to be enough. You're just going to get blown out by like VSK9 or like a Yummy Mirror or literally like any deck. So I feel like having the extra pop when you got like Fluid or Chummied was really important. And also, this deck has like very little ways to deal with back row. So having a Croaky to pop back row I felt was really important as well.
I actually didn't like the second one when I was playing the deck, but Ben says he did like it. You can go to the next ones.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was decent. So the next engine we played, and this was the sub engine, was the Mimigal package, which was 1 Fairy, 1 Archfiend, and 3 Dragon for the monsters. The Dragon's really broken. He's basically a 1-card full Yummy combo, and he's also like a board wipe if you flip him too, which is insane, obviously.
So one of the reasons that we also decided to play this engine was because the deck is already like weak enough against like cards that people are already main decking or siding for it. For example, like Bankratops, Dark Ruler, Droplets, and we felt like if you could just stop one of our effects just to like OTKs, we needed another way to where like it would hinder them into like playing more conservatively. But regardless, when you give them the dragon, it would destroy their whole field and come back to you, which I felt also was something that that some kind of interaction was lacking in Yummy, and like this just basically changed the game. Even when going second, since it's considered for the effect to be their effect, it was going to be harder for like mirrors and like a lot of things to change to this because it's their own effect. Even against Vanquish Soul, like even if they have like special summon monsters, it would still blow up their whole field and it'll come back to you. So we felt like that was a very good like interaction in order to help us like either stay in the game, and also like this is another reason why we played the deck, which is like it's like probably like a worse obedience fold, but it still does like the same thing because you still get like it still gets you to the Link 1 combo to basically summon a Yummy Synchro to search to, and even if like the interaction doesn't get you there, you can still like in the half board you can still give them the dragon with the room, and then when they special summon a monster, you can banish this. It'll flip and it'll come back to you, so it'll destroy their home monsters. Mm-hmm. We actually decided to play 3 dungeon because again, dragon is a 1-card combo. and it has like more effects where it makes your opponent play a lot more differently. And if they didn't read this card, it could also make them lose the game. But yeah, I felt like this engine was really crazy. You can also use the Mimigos to block Vanquish Soul monsters, like from activating to where in your columns. So basically, when you like link summon and someone uses this column, they can't raise in you to blow up your column. So you're still going to be synchro summoning in this column. You're going to link summoning in this column. And even if they keep summoning more monsters, you still have ways to flip it. We'll show you later how. And then it'll still blow up their board and still come back to you in some situations.
Yeah. Another thing I want to add is this deck having like an extra like hand loop option with the Archfiend I felt was also really valuable too, because there are decks like Vanquish Soul and even like Yummy that are very reliant on having cards in their hand to play and having food for cards like Droplet. So I felt like the hand loop from this was also really good, and because your opponent was the one activating this effect, you could hand loop them for additional cards with cards like Talents and Thrust, which we'll get to later.
Also, the effect for Fairy, also does not let your opponent activate the monster special summon from the hand, so it also hurts Vanquish Soul as well. It can hurt other cards as well, but yeah, just to keep note that this is what it actually does too. So the Fairy can also special summon itself whenever you control a Mimigo monster, or you can choose to go to the opponent's side of the field face down. And this is what basically lets you do full combos. So you can go Dragon, Dragon can search Maker, or either or in this situation, you can get these, and then your Mimigo XYZ can still search Maker. So there's a lot of ways to do different interactions into how you want to play your combos. And this deck can still OTK the same way the regular Yummy deck does too. So it's not really a big issue as to it adds more fodder for OTKs, and especially since this is a Book of Moon as well, can't forget about that. When you special summon the dragon on your opponent's side of the field or your side of the field, it's also a Book of Moon, so it keeps their monster face down as well, so that the dungeon can still stay live because your opponent's monsters cannot attack if they control a face down monster, and they can't normal summon if they control a face down monster. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. It really matters how you want to interact, especially if they play Droplet, so you might want to hold on to this, and even if they Droplet, because they would know that they can Droplet the Snatchy and keep going because it's like an IP effect. They can Droplet this, and then they feel like they can keep going, but once you Mimigo room them and then Maker them, when you give them the dragon, it could interrupt their plays when it comes back to you, destroy their field. And there should be another one. Yeah, same thing with this. It adds just the Mimigo room.
Yeah. Another thing to know is if you have the Snatchy, you can actually synchro with the Snatchy and the Mimigo cards for the quick effect too, because it just has to include a Yummy monster, which can be itself.
This also plays around evenly matched as well, because they try to leave you with one monster, since you need two monsters to synchro summon. And they go to the battle phase and you Mimigo room them. It goes to their side of the field, and then the evenly matches deck. Yep. But yeah, there were a lot of niche things you can do with the Mimigo engine, and we're really glad we played them. Maybe we tried to see if it was competitive, and yeah, I think it might be good.
Moving on to the non-engine, I'll start off with the spells. We did play 1-for-1. This is kind of like the connector for the two engines. You can get the Archfiend to help you facilitate the Mimical Dragon more effectively, or you can get the Cupsy Yummy, which is really good too because your opponent has to throw 2 hand traps at that card.
Yeah, and then he can still let you do full combos with
or Dragon.
You can search the Mimical Maker and have 3 bodies on the field with just the same way.
Yeah.
The non-engine that we played were the tactics cards. The reason being is because since the Mimigo cards are also considered activated by your opponent, you can still trigger Mimigo cards from your hand to give them again after they come back. They can throw us at Talents, and Talents will let you look at their hand to put a card in the hand back in their deck. So this actually lets you facilitate better turn 1 plays, and it'll still be good going second because you can still add cards like Mimigo Maker, and then there's potential ways where you could blow up their board if they get the dragon as well. So that was really, really good.
For sure. And then the rest of the non-engine was like mostly hand traps. We did 2 Nib. I actually think this is a really good reason to play the Mimigul package because a lot of the pure versions of the deck can't really play this card because of like Obedience School and Engage. So being able to play this in your Yummy deck was really, really good.
It lets you make your maker live as well because it doesn't matter if you control a monster or not. Well, Obedience School does. And we felt like we needed cards like this going second, especially since we want to create half boards for decks with lower ceilings, and it'll be easier to crack.
Sure. And then I played 6 Chummies. It's Modern Yu-Gi-Oh for you.
We were originally at 40 cards, and it was actually a lot more difficult to side deck. We ended up drawing the Perulias because we needed more non-engine for going second and more nibs. And this actually worked out great because, like I mentioned, you want them to create half boards so that you can facilitate your combos to actually like kill them. But yeah, we ended up being from 40 to 45 cards. We fixed our ratios, and yeah, these cards were really, really good. I was happy with them as well.
And then Ash, obviously. And then the last 6 were the hand traps, which were Purge and Imperm. David did not play Purge, but Purge was really insane for me. It was really good in combination, sometimes going second as a breaker versus Draco Tail. And it also helps you stop turn 0 plays from Vanquish Soul. And like I said, it's a trap, so it doesn't turn on Izuna.
I also didn't have Purge.
Yeah.
I didn't own any. To be fair. Otherwise, yeah, I would have played them. That's probably why I didn't do as well as Brayden. I think this card actually really matters that for a hand trap that actually like does more into the format.
Yep. Moving on to extra deck. We played 3 Snatchy. The third one never came up for me at the tournament, but I felt like it was better to have than to not have. You didn't want to get put into a situation where I was cut off of my engine and I didn't have a third one.
There were situations in testing where the third actually came up though. Whenever games became grindy and they would like stop us from using from getting into like our monsters. There's sometimes, and if we didn't have the Snatchy would have actually helped us like put the field spell from the deck to the field to still summon a monster. But yeah, we needed third Snatchy in testing sometimes.
It's also like really important for like when you're doing the pure lines.
Yes.
Then I guess we'll move on to the rest of the Link ones too. I played Anima, Almirage, this was the last second edition, Link Spider, IP, and SP.
So the Mimigo engine lets you get more free bodies than the regular Yummy board, and it also lets you facilitate using IP while still keeping all your monsters as well. But other than that, Link Spider as well as when you get into build, you can still special summon your Yummy monsters because it's a Link 1, and then you can still synchro off of it. Almirage is for when you use normal summon Chummies. Other than that, I didn't have any issues with it. I never used this, but I think you need it.
Yeah. Anima taking the Nib token was pretty good too. I think I did it like 2 times or 3 times. I like that interaction a lot. And it's important to have a generic Link 1 you can make that you could just use like special summon Mimigul's for. So that's why I played Anima. And then I guess we'll move on to XYZs. This was a unique part of the deck. We played Ripplebird and Giant Mimigul. So Giant Mimigul is really crazy. He's basically like the Feral Imps of this deck. And he also has a built-in like burn damage that you can do as well, which actually did come up round 6. I was short like 100 damage per game. I just went main phase 2, make this, give him a monster, and then he can blow himself up and burn for 1,000.
This card destroys face-up monsters up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls, or face-up cards, and then they lose 1,000 for each face-up card that was destroyed.
Yeah, he's crazy. And then Ripplebird is really cool because he's a non-once per turn, can flip your change the battle position of monsters on the field. So basically, he's here to help you facilitate the Mimiguls when you don't get Archfiend, and helps you facilitate the hand loop. And because you can kind of flip your things whenever you want to, you can like modulate your board to where you have the Yummy synchros, so then you can chain them to the Mimigal effects that your opponent activates.
Yeah, so basically, like when you summon these, and they basically trigger the Mimigo monsters. When you trigger them on their opponent's side of the field, you're able to chain your Yummy monsters as well, because the effect is, when your opponent activates a card, you can bounce them back, special summon 2 monsters from the graveyard. And since you made them activate this, you can, combo away into other engines that you can go to, or synchro summon other cards. Have IP, save resources for synchro monsters, and not just have them in the grave sometimes. But yeah, they just help you trigger them and let you do a little bit more pushes, especially when sometimes they can help you go per game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Also, this isn't once per turn.
Yeah.
You can keep flipping your opponent's monsters face up as many times as you want, as long as it has materials.
Yeah. Another thing I'll add, we were also trying the Harpy Trap with this too, because it is a Wind-Winged Beast, but it's just not good. I know people were going to ask me about that. It kind of goes against the whole game plan of what your deck is trying to do, which is like synchro summon, and it's just like not possible to do under chummies, which is the real time that you need it.
I also had the experience where if I got hand trapped in a way in certain areas, for example, when I link summon the monster and it got popped, or like there was just and I opened the Harpy Trap, there was just no other way to make this sometimes, and I would just lose because the Harpy Trap was dead, so we had to replace those.
Yep. The synchro monsters.
This is all standard.
Yep. This stuff is like all like standard. I do think maybe in the future we might want to play more of this, because if you get caught off on the Mimigools, it's really hard to like kind of have to jump through hoops to make this again and bridge into Yummy. But yeah,
I also had that issue as well. But other than that, yeah, you can consider playing 2 of them.
Yep. And then the last 2 synchros were Metal and Herald. I don't think you need 2 of these, but it would be nice to have, I guess.
But that's just standard.
Yeah, it's all standard.
Side deck.
Yep. Side. I decided to side the Drolls to respect Mitsurugi.
I ended up maining them because I didn't have the purchase.
Yeah. It also gave him more side deck space too, so that's something else you can consider as well. But I do think you should play Perch. Lancia, I needed to still respect Malice. That deck is insane. And then we decided to do 2 Dark Rulers and Duster. I think Duster has to be in your deck. Just you need to have a back row hate card that you can get off thrust, and just in general, to half boards, it's insane. And Dark Ruler was also mainly here to help you facilitate the board wipes from the Mimigal Dragon a lot more effectively. And it also is better into a wider range of decks, which this format is very wide.
Yeah, you can thrust into the second target as well, since it's not once per turn.
Yeah. You should also put in Dark Ruler going first against Draco Tail 2, because they can win to you, and that happened, I think, 1 time. And then I played Call By, 2 Warnings, and 3 Judgments for going first cards. I think David played the 3rd Warning. But to be honest, the Call By was really cool. I think I drew the Call By once, and it was against Draco Tail, and I Call By Femena, and I automatically won the game. So the card was pretty good for me. These were pretty good. You just need good cards that are good regardless of the situation to swap for the chummies when you get hit by chummies.
We also played these cards because there wasn't a way to play like Rivalry and Goes In like you could in the pure Yummy deck. So we chose a card that could like change the impact of like whenever like you get to keep it, and it can negate like a nib, or like it has a wider variety of like negating the ritual spell and things like that. And then Judgment was basically for like Mirror Droplet, anytime going first, because they're always trying to negate your Link 1 to try to like, because it's almost always game if they negate the Link 1, and then they just keep spamming monsters.
Warning on Schooled is really crazy too.
Yeah. Other than that, that's the full deck. Congrats to Brayden for top 8. And first off, we'll do shoutouts. Lastly, we'll do shoutouts. First of all, shout out to Ed. You know, I actually approached him about the deck, and he just gave me like the idea, and after he gave me the idea, I started working on it a lot more. After that, I gave Brayden the idea as well, and Brayden put in more time into the deck, and I was helping like facilitate fixing ratios and problems in the deck when I got my hands into the deck as well.
Yeah, I also have a couple shoutouts as well. I want to shout out to all of our friends on our Discord. They're always super supportive, and it's always fun going to events and hanging out with them. Also, shoutouts to Ethan and Mitchell for driving. Really appreciate them for that. And also just shout out to all my Houston friends for supporting me and helping me become the player I am today, and especially David too.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace out, guys. Peace.